Hello everyone, my name is Juan Manuel Erazo, and today I will analyze how digital technology and artificial intelligence have revolutionized the service marketing in the specialty coffee sector, focusing on one global leader, which is the Starbucks Coffee Company. Well, and before we dive into the specific technologies, we also must understand why Starbucks is investing so heavily in digital. And according to our course materials of services marketing in digital age, is that the digital technologies have fundamentally reset the service quality standards. Today's consumers benchmark every service against best-in-class digital experiences regardless of the industry. So in services marketing, we analyze the zone of tolerance, which is the range between the desired service, what the customer hopes to get actually, and the adequate service, okay, which is like the minimum level of what they will accept. So for Starbucks, the digital transformation has narrowed this zone because of technologies like mobile ordering. Customers now have an extremely high expectation for speed, convenience, and consistency as well. So, if a customer sees a long line in a physical store, their adequate service level might shift. However, in a virtual service escape, their tolerance for waiting is much lower. So, Starbucks uses its digital ecosystem to manage these expectations by providing the real-time updates, ensuring that the perceived service always stays between the narrow zone of tolerance, preventing the service failure before it even happens. Historically, Starbucks defined itself as the third place, okay? And what it means is that it is a physical environment between home and work. And in service marketing, this is known as the service escape, actually, which includes the physical evidence and the ambient conditions that influence the customer perceptions and behaviors. However, Starbucks in the digital age has successfully expanded this physical presence into a virtual servicescape. Through its digital ecosystem, the company no longer relies solely on the aroma of coffee or store design to attract customers. Instead, it manages digital clues and virtual evidence through its platforms to facilitate the service experience before the customer even sets foot in a store. It's just absolutely incroyable. So my goal today is to basically show you how Starbucks integrates three key technologies. The first one is the mobile app. The second one is the AI-driven personalization, and the third one is the data analytics. Okay, in order to bring or breach the service quality gaps and create a superior omni-channel customer experience. By doing so, they address the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral dimensions that define a modern service encounter. The mobile app and AI-powered personalization. So, let's talk about the first core technology, which is the Starbucks mobile app. This is not just a payment tool, it is the heart of their digital transformation, basically. And traditionally, the Starbucks experience was purely physical lines, face-to-face ordering, and payments at the counter. However, with the app, the company has redesigned the service encounter, actually, between them and their clients. So, through the mobile order and pay system, the customer actually begins their journey on a virtual service escape, and this enables what in an academic literature we call service encounter 2.0, okay? Where the technology not only replaces the repetitive tasks, but also optimizes the process by reducing the wait times, okay? And this is by allowing the customers to order before arriving. So Starbucks effectively closes the performance gap number 3 in the GAPS model, ensuring that the service is fast and consistent, delivering on its promise of convenience. But the real differentiator is the AI-driven personalization. The app just doesn't remember your name, okay? It uses the thinking AI to process historical data and suggest drinks based on your preferences, the time of the day, and even with the local weather. How incredible is that? This fulfills the empower me promise of personalization leaders, and Starbucks has transformed the personalization from a manual effort by the barista into a scalable experience where every digital interaction refines the customer profile to deliver greater value in the next encounter, actually. Here we see how the technology enhances perceived service quality, particularly in the dimension of empathy, by demonstrating that the brand truly knows and anticipates its customer needs. Data analytics and closing the performance gap. So, the third pillar of Starbucks digital strategy is your use of the big data and predictive analytics. Okay, so while the app and personalization are visible to the customer, there's a massive backend operation powered by what we call thinking AI. And in service marketing, the provider gap 3, which is the service performance gap, occurs when there's a discrepancy between the service delivery and the actual service standards. Okay, so Starbucks closes this gap by using the data to optimize their entire operational flow. So, for example, they use data-driven service to optimize the staffing levels and the inventory management. Okay. And this is by predicting exactly when a store will be the busiest, when it's going to have like the more clients. So they ensure that they have enough baristas on hand to meet the mobile order demand without compromising the speed, actually. This directly impacts the service quality dimension of reliability because it provides a service at the promised time, okay? So it also enhances the responsiveness. The employees are better equipped to handle the flow of activities. And this is ensuring that the physical evidence of the hot coffee matches the virtual promise made on the app's screen. So furthermore, Starbucks uses this data for service innovation by analyzing purchase patterns at scale, and they can introduce new service line extensions or manual improvements as well that are already know that will be desirable and viable, reducing the risk of this service failure. Hey, but how does Starbucks ensure these AI initiatives that actually pay off? Like, how do they make sure that these AI initiatives actually pay off? So it's not just about having the best code. It's about the 70, 20, and 10% rule, which means that the 10% of the effort is technology, and the 20% is getting the data right, okay? And a staggering 70% is about people and processes, okay? So Starbucks excels here by training its baristas to work alongside the technology, okay? Ensuring that the human moment of truth isn't lost to the automation, okay? So in order to measure the impact, the company focuses on a specific KPIs, which are like the key performance indicators. And this is beyond just sales, okay? So they track customer lifetime value, retention rates, and digital engagement, okay? So by using AI to create the personalization at scale, they aren't just selling coffee, they're driving customer delight. And we already know that customer delight in the customer experience is absolutely fundamental to keep people around. So the high arousal positive response that occurs when a brand surprises you by knowing exactly what you need is just simply amazing, and it's what every excellent business should be aiming for. So according to the research from BCG, the leaders in personalization like Starbucks grow revenue with 10% points faster annually than their competitors. So this confirms that their digital strategy isn't just a marketing gimmick, okay? It's a core driver of their service profit chain. So in order to conclude, Starbucks has successfully transitioned from a traditional brick-and-mortar coffee shop to a data-centric organization. That's a true digital transformation. And this is by integrating the virtual service escape and the AI-driven personalization and the advanced analytics. They have not only streamlined their service delivery, but also deeply enhanced the customer experience. They have moved beyond a one-size-fits-all model to create experiences at scale, which is the ultimate goal of modern services marketing. These digital initiatives drive the most important KPIs like customer satisfaction and loyalty. And when a brand uses AI to know me and empower me, it creates a high arousal emotional response. And that's what we call customer delight. The customer delight seems to be one of the most important things that you gotta like really understand it in order to fill up all of the gaps from the services journey or expectations and everything pretty much. So at the end, Starbucks proves that technology doesn't replace the human touch, it enables it, okay? By closing the communication and performance gaps through the digital tools, they ensure that every cup of coffee remains a moment of truth that lives up to their global brand promise. And that's it, how you fill up into the services performance gap. Thank you for your time.